Hello, everybody. Welcome into this fall edition of Talking Fitchburg on this Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Hope you had a wonderful day. Glad you're here with us now, enjoying just a wonderful day of warm temperatures on this first day of fall. Doesn't feel like fall, does it? I feel like it's deja vu from last year because I think it was warm last year on this day. Probably not, but I don't know. Just something in my head says, wasn't it warm, or me saying this once? We've been doing this enough now. It feels like it, but it's okay. We're glad you're here, as mentioned, and we have a very busy show for you today. Andrew he's got a lot on the slate here today. We'll talk about voter registration. It's voter registration day nationally. You want to make sure you're registered. We'll give you all the details on that, as a lot of you have already registered and have voted absentee, which we recommend. And we'll talk all about that coming up here in the digest. Plus, we check in with our friends at the Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. Yeah, we got Laura here from DATCP, and we're going to be talking about that advisory committee, talking a lot about protecting you in the future. She'll break it down for us on what they found and what are the next steps. So looking forward to that chat today as well. But first, we do kick it off with your headlines, and we start with this coming out this morning. The mayor's proposed 2021 operating budget is now posted. It is up at the website fitchburgwi.gov. And I would suggest you go to page 4. It kind of gives you the synopsis of his budget report. And you can see what he has included, not included, and everything else in between. Budget discussions will start next week with Finance Commission. I believe that's slated, Andrew, for Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday? Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah. So we'll get you those dates and put that out there for you coming up. All right, I mentioned it is a day to register and vote, and we want to make sure you are registered. And there's only one place you can do that at: myvotewi.gov. Yeah, if you haven't already, you need to get yourself signed up and registered. Go to the myvote.wi.gov. Please be sure to change your address on the WIS.dot website, wisconsindot.gov, prior to registering online. If you got any questions about this, our clerk's department, second to none, will be able to help you out. 270-4200. They'll guide you any way you need. And we'll talk more about everything election coming up in the next segment in our digest today. All right, slice of apple pie, the big drive-by. It's coming up, yeah. This is happening at the Fitchburg Senior Center tomorrow from 1 to 2 p.m. Come on out and pick up your delicious slice of apple pie from Fitchburg's own Rolling Pin Bakery. Suggested donation is just $1. Thanks to the support of the Fitchburg Senior Center friends. Hope to see y'all there. Stop on by tomorrow. And also tomorrow at the drive-by, you'll be able to pick up touchless flu shot information. Yeah. In October, they'll be offering a drive-through touchless flu shot clinic at the Fitchburg Fire Station #1. And those flu shot paperwork will be handed out at the Apple Pie drive-by for the flu clinic. And that flu clinic, by the way, will be held, the drive-through flu clinic will be held on Wednesday, October 21st from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Fitchburg Senior Center. It's proud to partner up with Fitchburg's own family pharmacy, the Fitchburg Fire Department, to offer a safe and friendly flu shot experience. In order to participate, you are highly encouraged to fill out the intake form prior to the clinic in the day or the day you bring it. You can pick up the form again at the front desk at the Fitchburg Senior Center Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays between 9 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. And you can also go to the website, What a Great Pharmacy .wordpress. I still think that's funny. And get that filled out for the drive through flu clinic. Very excited to have that option this year. All right, it is the first of fall, and it's time to even, as we're talking about flu shots and staying healthy, here's some 6 tips for a healthy autumn. Yeah, don't fall into unhealthy habits. A change in the season can be a great time to find ways to be healthier and make a happier you. Andrew, here are some of my favorite tips. And they are: number 1, protect yourself and others. Follow the COVID-19 safety guidelines. It's easy. Just follow them. 2, get your flu shot. The annual flu vaccine is the best way to help to protect against the flu. Number 3, don't drink and drive. Alcohol slows reaction time and hinders judgment, and coordination. Number 4, wash your hands. Avoid getting sick and spreading COVID-19 and other such germs by washing your hands and thoroughly. How many seconds do you wash your hands for, Andrew? 20 seconds. He's right. Number 5, be prepared for cold weather. Exposure to cold weather can be dangerous, so bundle up. And finally, and you got to stay out of the danger zone. 6, keep seasonal food safe, avoid cross-contamination, and to cook FDA recommended temperatures. Andrew, we're talking about that turkey. Yeah, it's almost going to be turkey season. I want to make sure you cook that very thoroughly. Speaking of staying healthy, we got to this right at the end of the update this morning. I want to make sure we get this in there. Questions about hand sanitizer. So this is from the FDA. It says, we received questions regarding hand sanitizer label as containing the active ingredient alcohol. The term alcohol used by itself on hand sanitizer labels specifically refers to the ethanol or ethyl alcohol only. Only 2 alcohols are permitted as an active ingredient in alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Those 2 are listed here. Ethanol, that's the ethanol alcohol, or isopropyl alcohol. Yep. Methanol and 1-propanol are not acceptable ingredients in hand sanitizer and can be toxic to humans. So it's showing you there when you're talking and looking at that, look for the term alcohol used by itself on hand sanitizer should specifically refer to, again, that ethyl alcohol only. So you can check that on the labels and make sure you got the right one. And of course, the FDA does have the list of products that fail or have the wrong stuff in the hand sanitizer, and there's a long list of them, so make sure you check those out as well. All right, finally, we get to some scam talk today. Political scams expected to increase as the U.S. presidential election nears. We talked a little bit about this last week. Want to bring it back up. BBB is warning consumers that the upcoming midterm election are likely to generate loads of scammers pretending to be pollsters, campaign volunteers, fundraisers, and even candidates. I cannot tell you the number of phone calls I've been receiving. Of course, I'm not answering them. I did answer one time, and it was a poll one or political in nature. So here's some ways for political scam and frauds to watch out for. First, fundraising. You can get a call from someone claiming to represent a political campaign, raising money to support the campaign. They may be collecting funds for a specific cause, such as healthcare reform, on behalf of the group of people, such as veterans. Target reports that callers are typically pushy and demand immediate action. Even if the caller is not a scammer, some groups may be poorly managed and not actually spend the money the way he has described. So you can check the give.org. Best place to check to make sure it's a legit nonprofit company giving back. Give.org to make sure that it is an accredited business. Also, impersonation. You can get a call that sounds like somebody like one of the candidates, perhaps even a president, asking to make a specific contribution. This scam is used real audio clips from political voices, likely lifted from speeches or media interviews. Digital technology has made these recordings sound very realistic. At some point, the politicians will ask for a donation or request that you push a button to be redirected. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give out credit card information. Don't go buy gift cards. Just don't do it. There are more tips at the BBB's website, Better Business Bureau. And of course, you know it. We share the link to our story so you can check out the story and much more. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we're talking about you getting registered to vote and everything about the upcoming election. That's next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
We scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. We're in the digest, and today we're going to be talking about voting as it is National Register to Vote Day. Yeah, if you haven't registered to vote, you need to do so. And we'll explain how you can do that all coming up here. But let's get right to just general election information. Let's just break it down for you. We start with absentee ballots. Will be mailed out at the end of September. They were mailed out. Yeah. And if you haven't requested one already, go to myvote.wi.gov. We'll show you that website coming up here in just a little bit. You can also use the site to see your ballot be mailed and also when it is received back to the clerk's office to be counted. Dropbox is available in the foyer at City Hall. You just can stop in there anytime to return your voted ballot. Registration to vote. You got to go to myvote.wi.gov. Please be sure to change your address on the WIS.dot website. That's wisconsindot.gov prior to registering to vote online, okay? You go to the online site, and that's where you register to vote. 2020 is a presidential election year, which means you may receive voter registration and absentee ballot request forms via USPS. USPS. I'm sorry, USPS. Sorry, you just naturally want to say USP. All right. That are not from the city of Fitchburg. Thank you, Andrew. Even though they may appear to be, they are sent by special interest groups, and the information is often inaccurate. To ensure you are properly registered or to apply for an absentee ballot, please visit www.myvote.wi.gov, or you can contact the clerk's office, 270-4200. In-person absentee voting hours for the November 3rd general election will be held in the Old Hall Room at the Fitchburg Community Center. That's 5510 Lacey Road. The hours for the absentee voting for the November 3rd general election is available here. It starts on Tuesday, October 20th. Tuesday, October 20th. That's a big day, Andrew. You know why? I married my wife that day. But it's also a good day because you can go in an in-person vote through Friday, October 23rd. The hours are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, October 24th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday, October 25th through the 29th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the last day to vote in-person absentee is Friday, October 30th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please be sure to bring your photo ID. And you may bring your own black ballpoint pen to mark your ballot. We do request that you wear a mask. All voters are strongly encouraged to vote absentee by mail. And a lot of you have already done it, and we're trying to project out on how many people we'll actually see come out to the polls. We want that number to be a lot smaller than it is currently, so please do your part and vote absentee. As far as options for returning your absentee ballot, a story that we shared last week, but I wanted to get it in here just so, again, to remind you on how you get those ballots in if you are. We're way over the 8,000 mark already for absentee that have been mailed for the November 3rd election. Ballots continue to be mailed as residents request them. Of course, you can request them at the myvote.wi.gov. We'll talk about that here. Mailing, you can drop off at the Dropbox in the foyer at City Hall, 5520 Lacey Road. That foyer is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, deliver the ballot to your polling location on election day is another option. You can also drop it off at one of our absentee ballot collection days. Yeah, we have 2 special collection days. First one is going to be McKee Farms Park Shelter. It's Saturday, October 24th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then Hugo Jamestown Shelter, Saturday, October 17th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The clerk staff will be available to accept and deliver the absentee ballot. Staff will also be available to serve as a witness if needed. And we'll be wearing bright green vests. So you can't miss them out there in the park. They won't blend in, I swear. Staff will practice social distancing, sanitation, and will wear masks. When the event ends at 1 p.m., the staff will bring the ballots back to the clerk's office at City Hall to be counted and placed in the package with tempered evident seal. The ballots then remain in the vaults at City Hall until Election Day. Yeah, when your ballots do come back, they go right into the vault. Make sure they're secure. All right, I've been talking about the myvote.wi.gov. We refer to it a lot. And if you haven't been out there before, it's very easy to use. Yeah, see my son saying it. It's easy, Dad. Yeah, you just go right on the website here. And you can see right across the top there, you've got the My Voter information, find my polling place, what's on my ballot, update my name and address, register to vote, vote absentee, or track my ballot. It's all the things we've been talking about and super easy. And yeah, if you haven't registered, this is where you go and take care of it. And like I said, you can track your ballot and so much more. So if you haven't visited, that is where that's located. All right, that does it for our digest. Coming up next, we open up our guest segment. We're talking about the cool advisory committee trying to protect you and your data. We'll talk all about that next, right here on Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Behind every 2020 census taker's mask is a friendly neighbor. They're teachers, retirees, vets, people committed to doing right by getting the count right. If you haven't responded yet, they'll be stopping by to ask some simple questions that will inform how billions in federal funds are spent on local services every year for the next decade. So when they come knocking, say hi from a safe distance and do your part to support your community. Time is running out. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection, it's Laura Sutherland. Welcome back to the show. How have you been doing?
I'm good, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining me. And today I am lucky enough to have you talk about some great work that's been happening behind the scenes. It was announced earlier last year. And we're talking about the Data Privacy and Security Advisory Committee. You guys put out your final report. So first off, why did we create this committee? Why is it so important to create this committee, and what did you guys work on?
So we created the committee because data privacy and security and data breach are just an enormous issue, internationally, nationally, and obviously statewide. There is more data being stored, shared, and sold than ever before, and that data storage market is going to grow exponentially into the billions and billions of dollars in the future. And Wisconsin has not kept up with modernizing its approach to data privacy and security in the last 10 years. We have a number of laws that cover data privacy and security when it comes to health care and education and financial issues, but there's one law that deals specifically with consumer data in Wisconsin, and it's a breach law. And it was passed over 10 years ago and has not been modernized since. So we rightly understood at the department that the economy is driven by data storage, and data security is an important component of making sure our economy in Wisconsin remains secure and people feel like they can function in it safely, both consumers and businesses. One of the things I like to say about data privacy and security is it's not a two-sided issue. It's not the business versus the consumer. Everybody wants their data secure, they want it kept private, and they want it to be used for the purpose that it said it was supposed to be used, businesses and consumers alike. So, the department recognized this was an important issue, that we are lagging in our response to it. So we brought together a group of subject matter experts to take a look at this issue from as many angles as we could possibly look at it and try to determine what is best for Wisconsin when it comes to data privacy and security.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I can't even imagine the stuff that was reviewed. I guess take us through behind the scenes. I mean, there was a lot of. I mean, you opened it up to the public, so public had the chance to come and either talk with you or send you information gathering. You probably got the business sector into it. How do you take all of that research and stuff and turn this into one heck of a report here?
Yeah, so what we did, exactly like you said, we tried to determine who's going to be impacted by any kind of data privacy and security regulation or change in the marketplace in that regard. And so obviously it's businesses, it's consumers, and it's government. So we brought together those three entities, government, consumers, and industry. And within that, we brought law enforcement in, from Department of Justice. When it came to industry, we brought in education, we brought in finance, we brought in telecommunication, insurance. We tried to grab as many industries as possible that obviously store and share and collect data and would be impacted by this. And then we brought in small businesses and large businesses. We also brought in consumers, the AARP, and we tried to target young consumers as well. So, trying to get as many voices around the table to talk about this. And then we had, 4 higher level goals to identify and research possible changes in Wisconsin state law, because as I say, we haven't modernized it in 10 years, to determine the efficacy of existing consumer data privacy initiatives, see, what doesn't need to be changed. That's always important. To consider how best to secure information received from the public and private entities, and to determine the business community's readiness for this, right? So what is business already doing? What are they ready to do? And what do they need help doing? Because a lot of these businesses are quite small and don't have the resources to hire an IT security team or specialist or what have you. So we looked at all of that. We met for 9 months, Jeremy, and we spent a lot of time together, got to know each other really well. We brought in experts from around the country. We had a data ethics expert come and speak to the group from Ohio Law School. We had homegrown subject matter experts from a law firm here in Wisconsin that are experts on all types of legislation around the country, as well as Wisconsin's legislation and bills and laws. And so they sort of walked us through what is happening internationally. So you may know that a very expansive data privacy law was passed by the European Union, and that sort of spurred action around the world. California passed a law soon after that, pretty expansive. And when California regulates industry, it's regulating a lot of industry because many national companies are located there. So even some Wisconsin businesses obviously would be impacted by the California law. And then after California, many states followed suit with their own version of what was best for their state. So we had experts walk us through all of that, and we really dug into that. We also had a consumer expert from Consumer Reports come. She gave us her view of the privacy laws around the country from more of a consumer lens. And then Consumer Reports did a consumer survey in Wisconsin, trying to discern, what do consumers think about data privacy and security, and what do they want to see in terms of changes. So we brought all these people together, learned quite a bit, and then what we did was we broke into work groups, 3 work groups, one called harmonization, one called new ideas, and one called education, and really trying to come at it from different ways. Obviously, new ideas is just that, trying to think of new ways in which Wisconsin might be able to address these issues. The harmonization work group was a really important work group in the sense that, there's a lot of regulation out there already. As I said, California has got regulation that impacts Wisconsin businesses. So anytime we talk about regulation, we have to think about what's in place already, what's going to be inconsistent, what's going to be complementary, what is going to be redundant. And that gets really complicated when it comes to data privacy and security, because as you probably know, your health information is already pretty secure or regulated. Your financial information is pretty regulated, but there are gaps, right? So we want to figure out what those gaps are and not overburden industry with redundant regulation, but really think about effective regulation. So that was a challenge, and that's what the harmonization group tried to tackle. And then we had the education group, and as you probably know from all of our calls with you, education is super important. It's where we start at consumer protection, if we can educate people about how to keep themselves safe. So talking in ways about we can educate around consumer protection was important. So we did all of that, and then we generated this report that is not a directive. It didn't have recommendations, and it wasn't a mandate, but instead really highlighted for policymakers and legislators, here's where we are. Here's what's happening around the country. Here's what's happening in Wisconsin. There are some laws actually that have already been introduced in Wisconsin. So we talked about those, and those are featured in our report. And here are the things that policymakers need to think about. Here are the intricacies that are really important to be considered and grappled with. There are not a lot of simple solutions when it comes to this. But as I said in the beginning, what we did know and what our big takeaway is that data privacy and security is universal, and people believe that there needs to be that, both businesses and consumers. And so there's consensus around that. There's consensus around the need to address it in a way that is helpful to both businesses and consumers.
Yeah, and as you look ahead, and you said again that there isn't necessarily a recommendation per se or a legislation piece that came out of the group, but as you see this moving forward, do you see yourself getting a chance, DATCP, talking to different government bodies or our legislators and senators and everything to try to get that conversation going to bring new laws forward? I mean, does this set that foundation to help them? I mean, it's nice that they have everything laid out in front of them as where we are today, but will this begin future discussions where you might lead something with or be going down to the Capitol and discussing this?
Yeah, absolutely. We shared the report with the governor's office, obviously, and we shared it with the consumer protection committees in both the Senate and the Assembly. We shared it with legislators who are already introducing bills on this subject, and have held ourselves out as experts and maybe not immediate subject matter experts, but certainly people who have enough information about where the pitfalls are, where the issues are that we need to be talking about, so we can be a resource. So we are going to be an excellent resource, and sharing this as widely as we can. And we encourage your listeners to read it and download it. It's a little dense, but it's also pretty readable. And sharing, and also just using this opportunity to continue to talk about it. As you probably know, next month is Cybersecurity Month, October. So we'll be using that opportunity to continue to talk about it and continue to share the report. And our hope is that it will provoke more conversation, stimulate some other ideas, and really help move the ball forward in Wisconsin when it comes to modernizing our laws.
Yeah, I know it's a complicated piece there. Even though it seems simple on the surface, it's very complicated stuff. And I know we could probably spend a lot more time talking about it, but thank you for breaking it down. And hopefully we'll be able to come back and talk about this and, future steps to keep us all protected. But a lot of education, and that's why we continue to have you and all of the great staff at DATCP come on every month. We appreciate all your help.
Oh, so thanks, Jeremy. And, you can find the report at our website at datcp.wi.gov. Thanks for having us on and letting us talk about it. We appreciate it.
No problem. We'll check back in with you real soon. Thank you so much. All right. We'll be sticking with DATCP and continue to educate on that front and get the message out for them. And check out the report. It's very easy to read, even for this guy. I know I'm a bad reader, but it's very good information, and definitely worth checking out. All right, take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for the day, I want to thank Clara and Michelle at the Department of HVAC Consumer Protection for always helping us get out their information. We certainly appreciate it. All right, as we wrap up the show, remember you can stay connected with Fact TV all day long. Andrew would love to see you join us on Facebook or YouTube. Have a great day, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.